If you've spent any time in the world of heritage clothing, you will have undoubtedly heard of the brand Freewheelers and Company. They've gained a huge amount of respect and admiration since they started in 2009, but what actually separates them from both their competitors and the original vintage examples that they base a lot of their clothing on? So Freewheelers was started in 2009 by Atsushi Yasui, and he really lives the life that a lot of this clothing suggests. He owns his own racing team called Tweakers Racing. He's consistently in America trying to break the land world speed record, and this is his passion project. The brand's design philosophy kind of goes above and beyond what a lot of other heritage brands are doing, where you see certain brands find their niche, whether that be denim, whether that be vintage sportswear, whether that be vintage workwear. Freewheelers are taking the approach of building kind of a world around their brand, which personally I think is an incredible thing to do because you get so much variation. They also kind of separate themselves by trying to improve a lot of these designs. They're not sticklers for, you know, this thing was originally made this way in the 1950s. You know, it had plastic buttons, so we're going to put plastic buttons on it. Instead, they say plastic buttons break easily. We're going to really put the work in and put metal buttons on to ensure these garments last a lot longer than even the originals did. As a result, a lot of Freewheeler stuff is really, really unique. You get some really bold designs on some of this stuff, and it really has a look to it. So I reckon the best place to start with Freewheelers is probably their denim. Their denim is kind of widely considered to be some of the best on the market. Anyone who's had this in their hands will probably agree. It's incredibly soft. It's made of insanely high quality raw materials, and it ages wonderfully. I've actually got my own jacket here that we can kind of compare a bit later. First things first, I want to talk about two of my favorite jeans. I think the jeans and the jackets are a fantastic way of kind of showing quite simply how Freewheelers use detail to convey their kind of story behind each garment. So we're going to start with these jeans here. These are a pair of jeans I wish I owned. If anyone wants to gift these to me, please go for it. These are the 601XX 1944 to 1945 model. These are based on a World War II jean, and they have some really cool details that you can show off here. They've got hidden rivets, as you'd expect, straight leg cut, as you'd expect, but where it really starts getting cool is you have these UFO donut buttons. This is a nod to the rationing that was happening during World War II. They were actually, instead of making a full button, because they needed metal for bullets, they were hollowing them out and having these really iconic donut buttons. And you've even got a laurel on the top one here. These go all the way around. And then another favorite thing about these jeans, you've got HBT lined pockets. If you wear jeans a lot, you probably have the same frustration as me where your pockets blow out constantly. I'm always carrying my phone with me. I'm always carrying my keys and my AirPods and my lighter, and I'm constantly having them drop down my leg because my pockets have blown. This is your solution, Vanishing West. And then kind of moving a little bit forward through history, we have the 1951 jeans. The first thing you probably will notice is a much bluer indigo. These jeans are a lot more vibrant. All of the 1951 denim is really, really vibrant and has much more kind of blue in it. Unlike the other jeans, these go back to cotton pockets, but it's a really, really thick cotton. So it's a bit more traditional, but you still have kind of some quality assurance there. And then the fun little detail about these is their enamel buttons. These are really, really cool. It's quite vibrant at the top and it goes all the way down there. You also have smaller buttons on the fly for this one. But what happens when you want to wear these as a set? Don't worry, matching jackets. So this is my baby. I love this jacket. This isn't mine, but I've got mine in the corner over there. And I don't think it's an exaggeration to say I wear it at least 5 or 6 times a week. I am never not wearing this jacket. So this is the matching jacket to the 1944 to 1945 jeans. You've got very similar details with the donut buttons going all the way down, and every single one has a laurel, which is a really nice detail. You've got this lovely leather patch here, and as you may notice, you've got a pocket with no flap. This again goes back to the rationing. In World War II, they removed the pocket flap to save materials. And yeah, fantastic, fantastic jacket. Laying this down next to the jacket that I've had my jacket for about a year and a half. I've not washed it yet. It's getting close. I'm worried I'm smelling now. But you can see there's some incredible elbow fades. There's some incredible contact fades. So if you're wearing this jacket a lot, it will fade really, really nicely. And then if you prefer a bit more bluer, a bit more traditional kinds of denim, we've got the matching 1951 jacket. Very, very similar to the last set. You've got the enamel buttons running all the way down. You've got 2 pockets on the front. It's a shorter shape. Cinch back is removed and replaced with these, again, enamel tabs on the sides. These cuts are built so they are super versatile. I honestly think these are some of the smartest denim jackets you can buy, and I think they are some of the highest quality denim jackets that you can buy as well. So all of their denim, or most of their denim, is produced under a brand called the Vanishing West. It's kind of a sub-brand of theirs. You run into this a lot with Freewheelers. They have kind of little names and little worlds for the separate sections of the business. The denim is called the Vanishing West. It's all about the frontier, the American wilderness, that old kind of very romanticized version of the American West. So if you want some good denim, Vanishing West is the sub-brand to look out for. If you're more of a military reproduction kind of guy, there of course are many, many options as well. Freewheelers military reproduction stuff is unlike anything I've kind of seen from other brands. They are oftentimes very, very specialist. A lot of their military trousers especially are kind of built to look a certain way. You'll see when I put the aviator trousers on, they're a look, but they're fantastic. So we're gonna start out with the deck jacket, which is a bit of a monster. This deck jacket is perhaps the most intimidating jacket I've ever laid my hands on. No expense spared, you feel it when you're wearing it. I mean, this thing, you could wear this in the dead of winter with just a t-shirt and I think you'd be fine. So first thing you'll notice is the fully alpaca lined interior. This runs from the collar down the arms, the entire length of the body. I mean, it's very, very warm. Quite an authentic little navy department with a contract there. Look, Freewheelers tag, coat hook. This is made of Bedford cord, which is what the original deck jackets were made of. It's very, very water resistant. It was kind of geared towards, you know, obviously you're wearing this on a ship, so you don't want to get wet. You don't want to get drenched through. It's not waterproof, but it is very, very good at keeping water out of that alpaca lining. You get the full button line front, which is very nice, especially in winter if you want to keep cozy. You also have a zip closure underneath that. 2 pockets, drawstring bottom. You have vents so you don't get stinky. And then of course you have the foldable kind of cuffs that you see on a lot of the original examples of the deck jacket. Oh, also another fun detail that I love. More brands need to do this triangular stitching here to reinforce the collar. Fit-wise, very snug under the arms. I would maybe suggest going a size up from what you'd usually buy. But yeah, best bet, try it on if you can. We stock them in the shop. If you're in London, pop through. This is the S8 Aviators jacket. It's part of the civilian equipment line. They do kind of a few different lines for their military reproduction. A lot of it's inspired by the stuff that was actually worn on naval vessels and Air Force vessels. Other stuff is more civilian focused, it's lighter weight. This, I think, is one of the finest pieces that they've brought out recently. S8 Aviators jacket, lightweight, it's completely unlined, but it's brushed interior, so it still feels soft. You've got this kind of shawl poppable collar. Zip front closure, 2 massive frontal pockets here, and then kind of hand warmer pockets either side. Brushed cotton interior, keeps your hands nice and soft and warm. Double zip closure actually, so you can kind of play around with how you want to wear it. Pocket on the arm, and then you've got these kind of tab closures on both the arms and on the body. So it's really, really great for kind of finding a really nice fit with this jacket. You can kind of see someone sitting on a chopper riding around Tokyo in this. I think it's really, really cool. Also, You've got the Bedford cord detailing. Again, like so much of these jackets and these pieces, every time you look at them, a new detail pops out, and just the fabric of this, like it looks like a canvas, but it's actually a cord. Yeah, great jacket. Lastly, from the military range, you've got these. These are aviator trousers in a lovely undyed cotton. They've got this crazy wide top here, and they taper down into this quite, it's not slim, but it's definitely a slimmer than the top block. And it's got the adjustable tabs at the bottom there as well, so you can actually get the bottom really, really nice and scrunched around your leg. They've got that really, really nice old school kind of aviator, practical kind of biker look. You know, tuck them in. Probably want to do that if you're flying around in the air, especially in a plane that's made of wood. Really, really cool. Green contrast stitching going against the ecru. If you want a nice pair of winter aviator trousers, you can't really get much better than this. Another really great capsule that Freewheelers does is their kind of outerwear and workwear lines. You've got two of these. You've got Great Lakes, which is kind of the forestry equipment, outdoor Americana. And then you've also got Union Special, which is the 1920s and 1930s and 40s kind of workwear equipment. So railroad shirts, railroad jackets, that sort of stuff, engineer coats. I've got a lovely little selection behind me. I think some of Freewheelers' best shirts are in these collections, so we've got quite a few of those. And I've got some really, really special jackets that I want to show off as well. Starting off with what I think is maybe an essential Freewheelers item. It's the Neil chambray shirt. This thing is lovely. Completely raw chambray, so you will expect this to shrink a little bit. Mine shrunk pretty nicely. I'm usually a 42 chest. I bought a 17 in this and it shrunk pretty much perfectly. Beautifully soft fabric, and again, really showing off their details with these lovely black contrasting buttons. I think probably my favorite part about the shirt, what drew me to the shirt in the first place, is these buttons here. All inspired by the old school engineer shirts. You've got pen pocket here, nice button pockets on both sides there. If you want something a little bit warmer, we've of course got the classic denim shirt. This is the Diamond Cracker. Also, great names for some of this stuff. Again, Union Special, made of a really nice, thick denim. Contrast stitching, those lovely buttons. What you'll notice with a lot of these shirts is they have a really classical shape, kind of made perfectly to be tucked. They're a lot more formal, these shirts. Some really nice detail on this pocket here as well. Again, you get that little throwback there, Union made. A lot of stuff says it's made in kind of Seattle. A lot of stuff says it's made in Kansas. It's all made in Japan. We have had people get quite confused about these tags and say, you know, is it American or is it Japanese? It's Japanese, they just are very committed to the bit, I guess. And then moving on from Union Special, we have the Great Lakes stuff, which you'll see some differences in a sec. So this stuff is built a little bit more outdoorsman, a little bit more utilitarian. You get some details on these that you don't get on the Union Special stuff. This is meant to be tucked in. This is meant to give you space. So when you're moving around in the forests, kind of chopping wood or climbing trees, it doesn't come untucked. You've got two inverted box pleat pockets. I think a bellows pocket. I might be wrong if it is, fact check me. But that means you can store loads of stuff in these pockets while keeping them quite small when not in use. Lovely wooden custom branded buttons, a nice sharp collar, and then you've got this extra reinforcement on the shoulders. So if you're carrying things over your shoulders, it's not going to hurt, it's not going to rub. And you've also got some ventilation on the back here as well. So these shirts are really made to be worked in. I mean, they are very good looking, but they're not just very good looking. They are really, really practical as well. And then a great kind of point of comparison between Union Special and Great Lakes is this thing here. Great point of comparison because you've obviously seen the Neil shirt with the Union Special, which is very kind of streamlined, geared for minimalists work, you know, exactly the essentials. Whereas this has some really nice kind of frills to it. You've got, again, these custom branded wooden buttons, a lovely, lovely woven label with a little owl on it. There you go. Super, super soft chambray fabric. You've got the reinforced elbows down to the cuff there and a really nice swooping hem. This thing is nuts. A really, really, really boxy wool Mackinaw kind of jacket. We talk about details with Freewheelers. This has almost too many to realise, I mean, I've looked at this thing for ages and I still don't think I'm at the bottom of how much is actually included in this jacket. You have so many pockets here, 2 inner side pockets, 2 bottom pockets there, hand warmer pockets. If you need to store stuff, you're going to be able to store stuff. Custom woven label there with the owl. Here's what I was talking about on this tag. It says Great Lakes Manufacturing Company, which they've made the name of that company up. But the commitment to building a world with this stuff is almost takes precedent over brand recognition, which is I think why a lot of people love this stuff. It's so much passion and so much detail over any sort of ego or brand identity. Their identity is being invisible, which is really quite cool. You've again on this got the custom branded wooden buttons. You've got a crown zip all the way down. Really lovely soft lining. Fantastic, fantastic jacket, and not something you see every day, this shape. I think it's very flattering and very, very utilitarian. And then in a similar vein, this is going to be very difficult to show off. This thing is quite impressive. This is the Gifford trench coat in deep black. I think dressing this up with a smarter look would go wonderfully. I mean, it's such a utilitarian piece, but done in a way where it looks really, really smart. I mean, you've got that classic trench coat construction. You've got the buttons down the front. It's, I think, kind of shin length on me, so it's a really, really long coat. Poppable collar, beautiful details. You've got this riding latch here. I mean, how often do you see something like that? Epaulettes, buttons everywhere, pockets everywhere. Gorgeous color and really, really, really heavy weight. I mean, this thing will keep you very, very, very warm. I mean, other details on this, it's belted, fully belted, so you can cinch it in at the waist. It's got a tab here, so you can either open or close this vent at the back. Yeah, it's pretty serious. So the last couple of things we're going to talk about are, I think, my personal favorites of the Freewheelers sub-labels. They are Motorcyclone and Powerwear. These are the old school kind of sports and athletics tops. So what I'm wearing right here is Powerwear. And then Motorcyclone is stuff from other sub-labels that usually they've just dyed it black, but it's like biker style. It's really, really nice kind of twists on classics. So another very essential piece of Freewheelers is the set-in sleeve sweatshirt. I have one of these. I'm exposing myself, spending far too much money on clothes, but the detail on this is fantastic. It's really, really nice. It's both lightweight and warm, which is difficult to find in a nice sweatshirt. My favorite thing about this is the ribbing across the top of the sweatshirt. It's over the shoulders. You've got a V-neck rib separate from the neckline ribbing on both sides. It's such a cool detail. Lovely woven tag, really, really soft interior, big, big cuffs and a huge ribbed hem there as well. This thing is quite slimming, so if you're after a boxier look, this probably isn't for you. It's definitely got a longer body than most sweatshirts that you find, but that's for good reason. It's purposeful to make sure you're warm, to make sure your whole body is covered. It's practicality over style, and what it lacks in boxiness, it makes up for in cool detail. Next, some of the highlights of the Motorcyclone label. So you'll see this rayon shirt here. It's a rayon western shirt, gorgeous, but it's got the Vanishing West tag, and then underneath it, the Motorcyclone tag. So originally, it would have been in the Vanishing West collection. I think they've dyed it black, they've added some detail, and that's what makes it Motorcyclone. So if you're confused by that, it's just kind of an additive to previous clothing. This thing is amazing. Made of rayon, which is really, really rare to find rayon stuff still produced. Freewheelers have gone that extra mile again to produce a really, really specialist fabric. You've got these lovely, lovely buttons all the way down, snap buttons as you'd expect on a Western shirt. Sawtooth pockets, lovely detail, not often done right, and I think they've done it really, really tastefully here. Again, those contrast buttons going against the black rayon, super, super nicely. big barrel cuffs, exactly what you want from a Western shirt, and a super, super lovely flowy silhouette. This thing takes a Western shirt and makes it smart almost. I mean, you can wear this with some really, really kind of dressed up outfits, and I think you'd look very sharp. Motorcyclone is as well where you'll find Freewheelers black denim. This is a Type 2 jacket. Again, you've got the Vanishing West tab, but this time instead of indigo, they have used a lovely black dye, which just brings a bit of rock and roll to it, doesn't it? It's a bit more bikery, it's a bit more rough and ready. All the details you'd expect from a classic Type 2. What they've done with this color, it's almost not your traditional black denim. It's not jet black, it's got this gray coloration to it, and that's purposeful. This thing is built to fade just like an indigo jacket would. This, I'd imagine, will go quite a light gray as you wear it, in the same way that indigo would fade as you wear it. And then lastly, we've got these Bakersfield double knee trousers. They are perfect for anyone who is working in a workshop or just wants that kind of biker style look. You've got functional double knees. You've got access from both sides here, exposed rivets, deep, deep black coloration, kind of semi-donut buttons here. They're very, very cool. Again, Motorcyclone tag. On the back, it's been taken from the Union Special line. And then you've got these, again, bellowed pockets here, so you can make sure you've got plenty of storage. Really, really fantastic pair of trousers. Obviously, the elephant in the room is the price. If you're looking from the outside at, you know, the price of a denim jacket, the price of a deck jacket, and you're saying, holy shit, that's a lot of money, it is. And if it's not for you, if this level of, you know, detail and I think specificity is not something you care about, which is absolutely fine. You know, if you want function and you want style over specific detail, I don't think anyone's going to blame you for that. But it's totally worth it. I mean, at least for me, I really care about it. I really care about wearing stuff that has kind of a lineage and a history. And if that's not vintage, it's Freewheelers. Wearing a garment you know has really been thought about, and every single detail on it is there for a reason. There's nothing superfluous, and it works. I think that's what really draws me to Freewheelers. I think that's why Freewheelers has gained so much attention, is because their design is unlike any other. So yeah, you are looking at a high price, but if it's worth it for you, you're gonna have some of the nicest clothes you can buy in this market.